Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the Swedish god of football, has been recognized for his goals and plays on the field, but he has also received criticism for his controversial attitude toward opponents. Here are some of the times Ibrahimovic scares his opponent. We will start with the incident between Ibrahimovic and Anyoha. Ibrahimovic spent just one season in MLS at LA Galaxy, but his time in the States wasn't without controversy. During an MLS match between Galaxy and Real Salt Lake in 2019, Anyoha and Ibrahimovic clashed. The first incident came when Ibrahimovic was booked in the 60th minute for dragging Anyoha to the ground by his neck during an off-the-ball incident. Anyoha then later said Zlatan had made threats to him following another challenge and confrontation between the pair not too long after the first incident. Ibrahimovic scored the winning goal and celebrated in Anyoha's face, shouting in front of his face. Though he later apologized in the dressing room, Anyoha rejected his apology. Another moment Zlatan Ibrahimovic scared his opponent was in a match against Montreal Impact. Zlatan played against Michael Petrasso of the Montreal Impact on May 21, 2018. And he received his first Major League Soccer red card for slapping Michael Petrasso on the back of his head. The Los Angeles Galaxy forward was reacting to Petrasso stepping on his foot, but it was a trivial gesture given that the winger's error appeared to be entirely unintentional. Next is when Zlatan threw the ball against Carlos Vela. Zlatan's first match was marked by his goals and victory against LAFC. During the game, he intentionally sent Carlos Vela to the ground and tossed the ball at him. He said, "What happens on the field stays on the field." Next is the clash between Barton and Ibrahimovic during the Englishman's loan spell in France, which seemed like it was only a matter of time anyway. During the first half of a tense match between PSG and Marseille at Parc des Princes, the two had a verbal spat. During the last 16 Coupe de France match, Barton mocks Ibrahimovic for the size of his nose. But Ibrahimovic would have the ultimate word by scoring both goals in their 2-0 victory against their arch-rivals. Next is the fight between Ibrahimovic and Oguchi. Ibrahimovic and Oguchi had a fight with Oguchi Onyu at AC Milan. During the Swede's first tenure in Milan, he was involved in one of the feistiest battles of his long career, coming to blows with American defender Oguchi Onyu, who Ibrahimovic said was built like a heavyweight boxer. After tensions between the two exploded in training one day, Ibrahimovic grew angry and they started fighting. Zlatan is a man that always, or maybe let's say always, likes to trample on their toes just to see what they can do. The next is Zlatan's dispute with Sean Johnson. In the game against New York City FC, the Galaxy captain fell to Sean Johnson's incitement, resulting in both of them falling into the ground, which later turned out to be more serious. The next is he railed against VAR. After the incident he had with Sean Johnson, Zlatan asked the MLS to remove the VAR from the league. He said, "We have this VAR, but I think we should take it off and not play with it." The next is when Zlatan slapped Lee Nguyen. In a different edition of Zlatan's incidents, he took advantage of a disturbance in the field to slap Lee Nguyen. The incident was the second time Sweden was seen slapping a rival since moving to the MLS. His first victim was Michael Petrasso, and he was given a red card for that act. He refused to attend the MLS All-Star game. In 2018, the MLS Stars played against Juventus, something Ibra missed and was fined by the league. His reaction? "I think it's ridiculous, no comment. They do what they want. I come from a different world, the real world. It is what it is, I respect it, and I feel it for my teammates because I could not help them in the last match." Zlatan face-to-face with Michael Bradley. In an LA Galaxy vs Toronto, Zlatan defended one of his teammates after a hard tackle by immediately facing Bradley. They told each other whatever despite the game being back on. The pair were caught in a spirited argument in the 93rd minute of the match, in which the defending MLS Cup champions won for just the second time in their past 6 matches and handed the Galaxy their 7th straight contest without a win. Next is the dispute between Simon Kjaer and Ibrahimovic. Although Kjaer and Ibrahimovic are now teammates at Milan, a dispute between them a few years ago might have strained their friendship. In 2016, Ibrahimovic's Manchester United team was playing Fenerbahce in the Europa League when the Swede grew upset by Kjaer's close marking strategy, which left him frustrated. At one particular moment in the match, the pair both ran for the ball, but Ibrahimovic also intentionally tried to shove the defender out of the way. But Kjaer was not prepared to put up with such treatment and responded in his way by grabbing him as he went to get the ball. Lastly is the fight between this rivals, Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Romelu Lukaku. Even though he is in his 40s, the charismatic Zlatan Ibrahimovic is never far from an argument. He demonstrated this once more during a clash with Inter's Romelu Lukaku in the Milan derby. He said, which was heard yelling at the Belgian, who replied, as both players were shown yellow cards for their behavior. At halftime, Lukaku pursued his competitor into the tunnel, implying that Zlatan had remarked his mother while his teammates urgently sought to separate them. This is nothing new for Zlatan, who received his marching orders after the half for a second yellow.